Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Two Guys, One Coup. Today's episode, we are going to review Kamala's policy. She's actually come up with some yikes, not good. Chuck Schumer's writing a book. Wait till you hear about this one. We're going to review a little bit of supporters from Kamala, and we're going to review a little bit of JJ Carroll from last week. We're going to do that and so much more from the Patriots Prayer Network. It's Two Guys, One Coup.
Lost in the crowd, truth hides deep, buried in the noise. Left hand deals lies, can't stifle the choice. Fight back rage, flames in the night. No more chains, break free from the fright. Eyes clear now, vision in the dark. We stand up, never bow to the mark. We are the storm, we are the fight. Two guys, one coup, bringing light. No more lies, no more games. Stand tall and truth, break the chains. They spit and scream, push buttons in the dark. Yet we rise, never crumble in the park. Paint our faces with colors bright. March ahead in the dead of night. Shattered dreams won't silence us now. Left and right mix poison in the vow. But we see through, we feel the beats.
Okay, now that we're fully awake, or at least getting to be fully awake, let's play a quick message from our sponsor, and then we'll get right into the show. Wrong one.
Grit is defined as firmness of character, unyielding courage in the face of hardship or danger. At Grit Gear Apparel, we honor all military, police, fire, public service, and patriotic Americans, both men and women regardless of color, creed, or religion. Our brand represents the love and freedom for our country, the heroism of all our men and women, and the principles of what this wonderful country was built on. Our goal is to regenerate the sense of patriotism and to spark the American pride within us, to stand together in the toughest times and become victorious, to preserve all our freedoms, to honor our flag, and to respect the men and women who have fought and died for us to have these freedoms. Wear our brand with pride, with a sense of patriotism, and as a statement for the love of our country. Whether you're military, public official, or civilian, our brand is for you. Together we stand as Americans.
Okay, Grit Gear, gritgearapparel.com, and their Lock and Load Coffee, which is lockandloadcoffee.com. Please go out. Their merchandise is great. They have a lot of patriotic and a lot of patriotic clothing, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts to you name it. Coffee is fantastic. I'm drinking some right now, drinking some in the morning, in the evening as well. So a big coffee drinker, and love their coffee. So again, please go out to gritgearapparel.com. Thank you, Buckeye, for that. And lockandloadcoffee.com. You will not be disappointed. As you can see, I'm by myself again. Dale is on a much needed vacation, and he is with his family. Happy birthday to his daughter. Will not say her name, but I hope you're having a great time. Be safe. Can't wait to get you back. And we'll see you next week. So continue to have a great time, and hope you stay safe. I want to go into review a little bit about what we had last week with JJ Carroll. Because there was something that happened to individuals that were close to me. Family members were in a store, and I will not name the store. I will not name the family members. But in this particular store, she was walking down an aisle, and 4 to 5 different people came up, men, tapped grandson on the head and said, "Oh, how cute he was," made a comment on how cute he was. Now, one person, okay, all right, fine. It's kind of weird. Don't touch my child, that type of thing. But, okay, thank you for the compliment. When 4 or 5 do it, there's something going on. And the fact that she watched the show with J.J. Carroll on his discussion on sex trafficking and children trafficking in this country, she became vigilant. So she went right away to one of the members of the store, which good job to this individual. And this individual escorted them out the door. Now, as they're going out the door, this individual noticed one of the people that were watching. And that individual was standing there right by the door. Was that individual waiting for this person to go out to their car? I don't know, but it kind of looked very suspicious. But the person from the store did not leave. Stayed with her the whole time, gets in the car, she goes home. Trust me, I know I have had a number of calls from this individual, and it is bothering the mother and the grandmother terribly. Well, before everybody starts, who was out there who are the who support our wonderful vice president and how great she's done with the border, those deniers, it did happen. And then as she posted this on Facebook, social media, it came on. Other people have had the same situation. We've had incidences where people followed them home. We've had a lot of different things that have happened. Folks, it's real and it's out there. And please go out and watch episode 19 with J.J. Carroll. Share it. Tell everybody, because it is very important that we know. It's very important that we get this word out there. Be vigilant. And don't worry about offending anybody. If it looks weird, you got to say something, because it's better safe than sorry. And we don't want to take the approach that we always do, where we sit back and say, okay, well, this, is this, what's going on here? Is this what we really want? And we don't want this, right? We want to protect our children, and we want to go there. So please continue to be vigilant, watch and wait for the shows, the documentaries by JJ to come out in September and October. We will talk about them. We will show them again, some previews as we go forward. But some important information out there that a lot of us we're not privy to. We go on our days and we look at the news, we watch the news, but the news doesn't report some of this stuff. They just don't. And why, I don't know. But so anyway, so we have that. So we move forward. Okay. So Kamala Harris, yay, came out with some policies last week, Thursday, Friday. Kind of ironic they timed it at that. 2 policies that kind of stole from President Trump, I believe, and then some other policies that are a little bit puzzling. So let's get to the first one. $25,000 for first-time home buyers. That is $25,000 will be given to qualified personnel, individuals that will get a down payment on a house. Okay. In one of the reviews I saw, it's if you have been paying rent for 2 years and you've been paying on time and you qualify, my opinion is it's going to be low income, low middle class to low income are going to qualify for this again. But that, right? I mean, that's what Democrats do, correct? They punish the wealthy and help the poor. It's not necessarily the right thing to do, but it's what they're going to do. They're going to give $25,000 to these people to buy home. So what's going to happen to the houses? What's going to happen to the housing market? The houses are going to go up by $25,000, right? I mean, or 20. I mean, they're going to go up. It's what happens. It's what happens when this stuff happens. So now the cost of everything goes up. So the rest of us that don't qualify for this money, now our houses cost that much more. Okay. She wants to build 3 million homes, 3 million new homes to accommodate this. This is the same group that we're going to build all these electric car chargers, right? These charging stations all over the country. I think they've done 8. So all this money that went towards that, remember, where'd that money go? Where is it? Why did they only build 8 charging stations? Well, there you go. And also, these are the same people that said they're going to give rural areas Wi-Fi. Everybody's going to have access to internet. I don't think that's been done yet. But she's going to build 3 million new homes. Way to go. So that's another thing that's just not it's just not going to work. It's going to punish everybody else. Oh, we're gonna tax the rich, right? We're gonna take away those evil corporate tax cuts that President Trump put out there. Folks, wealthy people are the ones who own the business. They own the businesses that sell the products that you buy, or you invest in their businesses. Prices go up if their taxes go up. It happens. It's gonna happen. So she can make these false promises, which she's never going to follow through with. It's just a campaign stump that uninformed voters, which is the new thing we need to refer to it when it comes to Kamala Harris, very much uninformed voters, because that's all they have. They're uninformed. They have no clue what's going on. And this is what they do. So the next thing is $6,000 credits to new parents. Isn't that ironic? The party that wants to kill babies also want to reward you for keeping them. Wonder how the woman on one of our not interviews, but one of the clips we showed a while back that wants to get pregnant 40 times so you can have 40 abortions. I don't think she's going to be happy with this. But anyway, it's the tax credit for children, and that is one of the ones that is stolen from President Trump, right? Tax credit for children. And to be able to get to that point. But she stole that from President Trump. And then another one she stole, obviously, is the no tax on tips. We know that. But here's one of my favorite ones. Punishing those evil businesses that price gouge, right? Those evil grocery stores that the General Mills of the world, or the major distributors of the eggs and stuff. They're evil. They're stealing their money from the citizens of the United States for price gouging. So she's going to punish them. Folks, that's communist China, communist Russia. Here's the prices. This is what you're going to pay. That's what it is. No more competition. Competition's gone. The government is going to tell you what you're going to pay, and you're going to pay it. Who's a threat to democracy? It's not MAGA. It's not President Trump. It's not us. It's them. Okay, they're a threat to democracy. Price fixing. A loaf of bread will cost $1.25. Well, government needs more money. A loaf of bread's now going to cost $2.25. Do you trust the government to control pricing? I most certainly do not. And maybe you do. That's fine. I guess that's totally up to you. I do not trust it. And not only that, there's people coming out from the left. There's some financial people from President Obama's administration that are saying these promises they're just not doable, which we all know that. Anybody with common sense knows she's just trying to buy votes, right? She's trying to do that. But the price fixing is the one that worries me the most. And the reason why it worries me the most is because, again, that's communism. Here's what you're going to sell prices for. So again, how many times do we have to hear from the left that we're going to go after these extreme profit-making companies at the expense of the American citizens? We hear that about the oil industry, right? That's the most common one. Has anybody talked about this clean energy? Has anyone talked about the extreme profits they're making? Not only are they making extreme profits, but they're subsidized by the government. The government gives them money. They give them money for this. They give them money to make solar panels, windmills. They give you money for that. And now they make these obscene profits. Have you seen what an electric vehicle costs? You want to buy a halfway decent electric vehicle, you are paying $20,000 more for a combustible engine vehicle. I mean, it's insane. It's unaffordable. So they're making these obscene profits. They're doing, but we're not going to go after them, right? We're only going to go after the individuals selling groceries. Their extreme profits. It's not their policies that have caused the high prices. Of course not. They can't do that. They can't take the blame for it. But it's their terrible economic policies, whether it's Bidenomics, now I think we're going to call it Kamala nomics or whatever they want to call it now. But it's just not going to work, folks. It's not going to work. We know that. And I just want to mention real quick, you have two individuals. You have President Biden now, Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, and you have President Trump. Okay, you have them out there. We have no idea who's going to run the country when if Kamala Harris wins. We have no idea. If Kamala Harris wins the presidency, we have no idea who's running the country. She's going to be the face. She's not running it, just like Joe Biden. President Biden was not running this country. We all know it. Whether he was not capable of it mentally or just not capable at all, because he's just has not been a very good senator, even when he was there. Very racist. If you don't believe me, go back and look at previous clips. But this individual, we don't know who's running the country. Who's running the country now is what I'd like to know. Every time we look at President Biden, he's out on a beach in Delaware. Shows up in Maryland to help Kamala announce her policies and it's just insane, folks. But anyway, we know what President Trump's going to do, right? We know who runs the country when President Trump's there. President Trump, he runs the country. And, as much as you hated those mean tweets and him going back at people attacking him, things were really good. Like we said before, you could still be gay under President Trump. You can. You can still be gay. You can still be transgender under President Trump. Just leave the kids alone, right? Anybody under age of 18, they don't have the mental capacity to be able to say, I want to change. All right. Now, I think it's weird. I don't agree with people changing their sex, but if you're an adult and you want to pay for it, that's what this country's. Go ahead. I mean, take it, but please get counseling. Please get counseling. Know what you're going into. Know what's going to happen. But you were still allowed to do that. You were still allowed to buy electric cars when President Trump was president. You were still allowed to have abortions when President Trump was president. And unlike they're going to tell you now, you can still have abortions, folks. Some states have different requirements than others, but you can still have abortions. So, but the left media is going to tell you that, well, they're going to take this away. They're going to take it away. Never has it been taken away, but they say this all the time because they have to scare the uninformed voters. All right. And these are the uninformed voters, folks. Defenders of Kamala Harris. This is a 2-minute and 50-second video, but I think it's important. And I want you to pay attention to what these individuals talk about when they reference the border. So please listen to this.
Today, we're trying to find out from the attendees what Kamala Harris's greatest accomplishment has been as VP.
I mean, honestly, I'm not too into politics. I'm just here for the vibe.
Becoming the first female vice president.
So becoming the VP is the best accomplishment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Being a good person.
Being a good person?
Yeah. She's I don't know. She seems really good for women.
Harris is there with the energy. She has a lot of enthusiasm, so it's important to get behind her.
What is Kamala's top accomplishment, you think?
I can't say anything right now. Give me a second.
Her top contributions to policy as VP.
I wasn't in on the policy making decisions with President Biden, so I don't know.
Her favorite policies. Oh my gosh. See, I wish they would tell us more about that because I honestly don't know. I know she's done some good work with immigration, even though they say opposite.
What do they say?
Well, what is it? She's the border czar.
She's the fake border czar.
It's her fault that all these immigrants are coming over, to cross the border right now, which I don't think they are.
People have been saying that Kamala is the border czar, or whatever that means. Is there an issue at the border? Has Kamala done anything about it? Or was there not anything to do about it, and so they're just kind of making things up?
So I don't think there's an issue with the border at all. Yeah, I feel like, yes, illegal immigrants are coming to America, but that's what America's all about, is to come to America and live that American dream, because America isn't just for the whites. It's not just for the blacks. It's not just for the Mexicans. No, it's for everyone around the world. We're supposed to be a country of letting people come in and do what they'd like. I mean, I understand that with they say the border crisis is causing all these drug issues and it's causing crime, but in my opinion, there's crime everywhere. You can go to New York, you can go to Canada, you can go anywhere across the world, and there's going to be crime regardless.
Yeah, it's a total. They're blowing it way out of proportion, huh?
Oh, for sure.
Would you say there's a problem at the border at all?
So there is a problem at the border. I really would wish for her to go visit the border while she's here. I don't know what's on her schedule and whatnot, but I mean, there's work to do, and I can't dismiss that. You know, there's problems to fix, but my personal wish would be for her to visit the border with the governor so they could see what's going on.
One of the first questions was her policies as VP. Did you hear one? I mean, the fake borders are. I mean, we can go back and play videos, folks, back in 20 when she was announced. Lester Holt did an interview with her where she famously said, well, I haven't been to Europe either. She was the border czar. President Biden assigned her that task. She never went to the border. The border's a mess. We know it. We've talked to JJ Carroll, who's going to come out on the show again and talk about now the invasion of the people coming in to this country. And they're coming in for one reason. Well, the main reason is to vote. They need their votes. They're registering. And I've got a little story here about Alabama here towards the end. It's happening. The uninformed voters. Okay, so I blame MSNBC, CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, all the mainstream media out there, the liberal mainstream media that is not talking about it. I blame them. They're the ones, and these individuals who are dumb enough to believe everything that they see on this. You guys are listening to me right now, and you're watching Dale and I when we do our shows. Don't just take our word for it. Go out and find this information. Go out and find it yourselves. Do that. That's what conservatives do. Okay, yeah, we listen to our favorite podcasters. We listen to our favorite television commentators. We listen to that, but we also go out and look at other places. As much as I hate to, I go out to CNN. I go out to MSNBC. I look to see, and it's funny how different stories are characterized, how different stories are presented. The border's a mess. And for these individuals to sit there and say that there's no problem, and that guy sitting there saying that we want to accept everybody. There are bad people coming into this country, killing Americans, killing them in many different ways, bringing the fentanyl into this country, bringing terrorism into this country, bringing criminals into this country. Venezuela releasing criminals from prison to released into this country with the guarantee you're going to come to the United States. And those are the ones causing havoc. It's happening, folks. And the uninformed voter is completely insane. So not only do those people who are Kamala Harris and Walz supporters, press secretary had struggled a little bit when asked that same question. Watch this.
What does the president see as the vice president's biggest achievement during their time in office together?
So look, because they've been partners, those achievements have been done, certainly those historic, unprecedented achievements have been done together. I'll say this, the president believes in the vice president leadership, her temperament, her experience, and he has said this himself. One of the proudest decisions that he made in 2020 was selecting her as vice president because he believed that she can go on day one. And you've seen them do that together on day one of this administration. That doesn't change. I'm not going to parse out anything from here. They have been partners. She's been a critical partner for this president for during this term, and will continue to do so. You will see them together on Thursday in Maryland, where they would talk about their next announcement on lowering costs for the American people.
There's not a specific policy achievement. It's a comprehensive whole.
I would say it's a comprehensive whole.
Did you hear one accomplishment? I don't know if they just think we're that stupid, or and more to the line of this one, I just don't think they care. They don't care. They don't care if Americans are suffering. They don't care if we're dying. They honestly don't care. They want their power. And President Trump is a threat to that power. He's completely opposite of what they are. He wants America to be America. You know, he wants us to make the decisions on how we raise our children. He wants us to make decisions on how we get jobs. The jobs are out there. They need the best way to make this life better for all of us, and to get down payment for a house is to get a job for everybody to work to earn that money to put the down payment down on the house. We got to stop needing the government. You got to stop depending on the government. The more people depend on the government, the closer we come to socialism. And then communism is not much further away from socialism. But this is how stupid these people think we are. Kamala Harris, they can't think of one positive thing she has done other than the fact that she's the first female vice president. Great, good, fantastic. That's I'm glad that happened. Wish it was a Republican that did it, but hey, it's a first female showing young women that if you worked hard, well, she didn't work hard, but anyway, if you get, well, I guess she worked hard, but we won't get into how she worked hard. But we'll move forward. She's terrible. She was a terrible vice president, and even the people in the Democratic Party were talking. Remember midterms? Remember when we were all talking? They were saying, "Man, when this presidency happens, maybe President Biden needs to replace his vice president. She's just not effective. She's just not doing anything. Voted the worst vice president ever in polls all over the place. Yet we think she's going to be able to be president. Are you serious? This is insane. This is crazy. This is utterly ridiculous, to say the least. But this is what we're dealing with. Now, I mentioned to you guys before, as I was discussing her price fixing, making sure that the prices are not gouged, and they're going to make sure that obscene profits aren't maintained. Remember when I said it's a communist ploy? I want you to watch this video. It's a 17-second video. Watch this. Did you see the sign? Revolutionary Communist of America. And they get pictures. They do a selfie in front of this. I mean, we knew Walsh was communist. Well, we knew it. I mean, the guy loves China. I mean, for crying out loud, like Sebastian Gorka said right before his interview, go out on X, you can search it and show it. He said, can you explain to me how an active duty member, and this happened when he was active duty, military in the National Guard, how he goes to China? Usually you have to, when you go to China that often, you have security clearances that will be less or more depending on, what you have. But how does his security clearance still be that strong when he was going to China as an active military? I don't know. Figure it out, folks. I'm confused. I don't know. But they're trying to paint these two individuals as not the radicals they are. They're communists. There's no question about it, especially Walls. They're not going to help this country. They're going to make these promises of Santa Claus, and they're not going to come through. Because you know how we know they're not going to come through? Kamala Harris was vice president of the United States. Why didn't they implement any of this stuff then? If she thinks her policy is going to be so good, why didn't she go to President Biden or go to Schumer and say, hey, let's create a bill. Let's do this. Let's do that. They didn't. She's not going to change anything. The whole point is, let's not get President Trump in office because he's a danger to us, them. That's who he's a danger to, folks, not us. Not us. He is a threat to them because they can't control him. And he's going to call them out. If he thinks you're screwing the American people, he's going to call you out. So all you people out there that hate him, all you pro-lifers that hate President Trump, or all of you, it doesn't matter what you are, pro-life, if you hate President Trump, think about this. Just think about it. Why are they fighting so hard to keep this man off the ballot? When they're gonna make these comments, well, he's done this, he's done that, well, I can name people on their side that did the same thing, if not worse. They seem to be okay then. So why is President Trump held under a different standard than everybody else? Why? So you have to ask yourself, why are they fighting so hard to get him out? Why? We can't let him be president. Why? Iran was, $6 billion poorer than they are now. There's never peace in Gaza, but they weren't fighting as badly as what they did, knowing that they would not have attacked. And I don't care what anybody says, Hamas would not have attacked Israel if President Trump was still president. Wouldn't have happened. They knew what these leaders were going to do. They knew exactly what they're going to do, and they did exactly what they thought. Okay, so we know that. But Russia did not invade Ukraine. Oh, yeah, that's because President Trump was in Putin's pocket. No. Putin was in President Trump's pocket. President Trump knows how to play people to what he wants, and what he wants is what the Americans need. We were a power again when he was there. They hate us, fine. A lot of people across the world hate us for our power, hate us for what we do. They hate us for our freedom. But they certainly need us. They certainly need us. They can hate us all they want to, but when there's a national disaster, who is the first country to show up? We show up with supplies. We show up with ships that serves as hospitals. We show up as ships that serves as shelters for people who've lost their homes. That's who the United States is. You hate us all you want. We're still going to be there for everybody, as long as you do the right things. We're not perfect. We are not a perfect country by any stretch of the imagination. I am not trying to say we are, but we are the best form of what we have. And it's when the American people work together to accomplish something. Man, there's no better America. We can all work together instead of letting these liberals let us fight with one another. It's terrible. So we're going to come back with a Schumer book. You're going to love this if you haven't already heard it. But before we do that, I want to take a commercial break. And our sponsor, Grit Gear.
Grit is defined as firmness of character, unyielding courage in the face of hardship or danger. At Grit Gear Apparel, we honor all military, police, fire, public service, and patriotic Americans, both men and women regardless of color, creed, or religion. Our brand represents the love and freedom for our country, the heroism of all our men and women, and the principles of what this wonderful country was built on. Our goal is to regenerate the sense of patriotism and to spark the American pride within us, to stand together in the toughest times and become victorious, to preserve all our freedoms, to honor our flag, and to respect the men and women who have fought and died for us to have these freedoms. Wear our brand with pride, with a sense of patriotism, and as a statement for the love of our country. Whether you're military, public official, or civilian, our brand is for you. Together we stand as Americans.
Again, Grit Gear, folks. Man, Grit Gear, they just have, it's great apparel. It's soft, it's comfortable. You wash them, they still hold. I can't express it any more than what we have. It's as the Grit Gear. I wear shirts every show. I drink their coffee. It's gritgear.com, the gritgearapparel.com, sorry, and lockinloadcoffee.com. Please go out and check it out. Support them. They're patriots. They donate a lot of their money that they get. They donate that money to help first responders, heroes, the true heroes of this country. And because this government right now that we have, they don't care about our heroes. They rather feed and house illegals in this country than the people who fought for this country. Man, it's the same thing over again. They don't care. Before we get into Schumer, I want to review some comments. Yes, Buckeye McGrone, you're correct. If you missed it on Saturday, we the Patriots Prayer Network. I unfortunately was not able to be there. Dale and I are going to go to the Warrior Shield event in Orlando, Florida, representing Patriots Prayer Network. But man, you're right. It was a great event watching it Saturday. It was fantastic. Eddie, Maurice, all of you did a great job. Proud to be a part of this network. We all have we are a same like mind. Wished I could have been there. Sounded like it was a lot of fun. If we do it again, I'm definitely going to work to get there. I just feel that it's important to get our voice out, to get our voices heard. Michaela did her first podcast, and folks, she's phenomenal. I can't stress enough. Please go out to patriotsprayernetwork.com. Look at all the schedules of shows, see who all the personalities are. Support them, because it is a great network. And Eddie, you have done a great job setting it up, if you're listening, my friend. And great job with the Red Pill event. I could not have been more proud of everybody that I work with from the Patriots Prayer Network. Love to y'all. Okay, Chuck Schumer writing a book on anti-Semitism. That's not a joke. I honestly, that is, the same one who refused to see Netanyahu. He was in town. The same one who is destroying him on how he's running his country and defending his country from these evil Hamas people. And again, it's not Palestinians, it's Hamas, folks. They're the ones attacking, and there's a lot of Palestinians that support Hamas. And anyway, I'm not going to go into that right now, but he is going to write a book on anti-Semitism. Really? You sit there and you ignore the leader of Israel, and you're now okay. Alexandra from the network. I hope you see this, or when you talk about it, because you come from a much different situation than I do, being Israeli and Jewish. This is ridiculous, and Schumer is Jewish, but he is writing a book on anti-Semitism. Don't you want to know what his stance is on anti-Semitism? I mean, I would most certainly like to know. I am not giving him money to buy this book. I'll let somebody else do it, and I'll go back and read the excerpts from it. But I will not support him. But yeah, he's on his view of anti-Semitism in America, and he leads it. His party leads it, and he doesn't care. Again, another situation of a man who's been in power way too freaking long. All right, Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, get the hell out. We don't need you anymore. Move on, go out. And plus, we got rid of 2 squad members. We have a few more to get rid of, but because that is we got to get rid of these radical people who are trying to change our country to hate this country that has always been by our side. You have Britain, and you have Great Britain, England, and Israel. They've always been, for the most part, by our side. They've been the best allies that we've had. And this group, led by Schumer, is pushing them away. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't defend. You need to do this. You need to do that. Folks, when they go out and bomb these places that have Hamas leaders, is anybody questioning or getting upset with Hamas by putting them in places where there are people? Why isn't anyone protesting that? Right? Because they know that when they're there, they don't care about those people above them. They want them there. So when they die, they can use this as Israel's killing innocents. It's just insane. But yep, Chuck Schumer's writing a book, folks, and I would not buy it if I were you, because the last person I want to learn anti-Semitism from is him. Okay, just saying. Anyway, that's enough. I want to talk about that. Okay, so the latest thing coming out, whether this goes anywhere or not, is none of these things ever happen, right? But right before, and I will get into this in Chicago, the convention starts this week, and this is funny. Biden engaged in impeachable conduct. No news alert. Okay. But the House's 3-committee impeachment inquiry released a report Monday morning finding President Joe Biden has engaged in impeachable conduct, including an abuse of power when he was vice president and obstruction of justice as president to cover his family's global influence peddling racket to defraud the United States. It's another one of these committees, folks, that nothing's going to come of it. I mean, they're not going to come of it. I mean, everything that they have in here is correct, is true. Joe Biden did conduct abuse of power as vice president when he announced he wasn't going to give money to the Ukraine until they fired the attorney general that was going after his son, that was investigating his son, in Burisma, I think is the name of the company, if I remember correctly. You fire him or you're not getting this money. Yeah, that's an abuse of power. And then, of course, as president, hiding everything that his family, I mean, the Biden family has made more money than Mitch McConnell has, if that tells you anything. Mitch McConnell has used the American people to make so much money from China. The Bidens make him look bad, if that tells you anything. I mean, that's how bad this is with the Bidens. For those of you who are willing to look at it and see these individuals for who they are, okay? Joe Biden is a terrible individual. Okay, he is horrible. I mean, he is Clinton times 2, but quietly, because he does it in a nice way. You know, he's all this, weird Joe, weird Uncle Joe, all that stuff. And no, he's a horrible person. And so I hope this is a committee that actually does something, that actually moves forward with it, instead of looking good on paper and letting us, the constituents, think, yeah, go get them. And then here we are again. So much money is put into these investigations and no one ever pays. No one gets in trouble. They keep their power. The family keeps their money. But maybe they're doing it just in this time, but MSNBC is not going to show it. CNN's not going to show it. No one is going to show this. So I think we just need to work to get Kamala Harris out of there, so we don't have to put up with her crap anymore, because none of us really want to do that. Okay, I want to get into another. Okay, so former Clinton aide Paul Begala. Yeah, it's an old. Okay, he's from way back, but he's popped up again. You know what he thinks about Harris avoiding the media? 2 words. Who cares? Honestly, that's exactly what he says. Who cares? Now, is he wrong? I don't know. Her popularity seems to. Every poll that you're looking at, by the way, do not listen to the polls. Just don't. Because I'm a firm believer that I'm a complete firm believer that these polls are bullshit. Excuse my language, but because there's no way Kamala Harris is pulling ahead. There's just no way. I can't, and I refuse to believe it. Call it deniability. I don't know, but I don't like it. But anyway, he says, "Who cares?" And right now, is he wrong? I mean, I care because I want other people to hear this woman speak when she has to talk about her views, and apologize for saying this individual, speak. Because we have all heard her speak off the cuff, right? It's not good. That's why everything she's done is scripted. Okay, that's why the debates, whether they happen or not, and they'll probably will happen, and they'll have her prepared every way, shape, or form. More than likely on ABC, she's probably going to get the questions ahead of time. Okay, I would not put it past them to do that, so she can get prepared to show what's going to happen. And they're going to do everything they can to throw off President Trump. And the way they're going to throw off President Trump, and it's sometimes it's easy to do, and I hope that President Trump understands this and doesn't fall for their little traps they're going to set. Okay, we all know President Trump is very strong and very confident, and he states his opinion. Okay, but they're going to set him up that make it look like he's attacking a woman, so on and so forth, and it's going to be. But I hope he is prepared, and I believe he will be, because for all of you who hope that Kamala Harris funnels and just bundles everything up on these debates, don't expect that to happen. And I'm saying that because she's going to know what the questions are going to be. If it's going to be on, if it's going to be on working across, with foreign countries, or if it's going to be on the border. I can't wait to hear that one. Or anything like that. She's going to have this stuff ahead of time, and she's going to know how to answer it. She is. It's going to happen. We know it's going to be there. So we have that going on. So please know this is what's going on. She doesn't want to talk. She doesn't have to talk. No one's forcing her to. And yeah, so who cares? But you know what? She needs to sit down and do interviews. She's going to get softball interviews. I mean, she's going to. I mean, President Trump and JD Vance, they go on CNN. They've done it. You think she'll go on Fox? Think she'll go on Newsmax? Think they'll be interviewed by Tucker Carlson? I don't think so. They don't have the guts. That's why the first debate from Kamala Harris, she refused to go on Fox News. She wanted to do it on ABC. So it is what it is, folks. This is what we're dealing with. Just election. We just have to get people to vote. We have to get them out there. We have to watch this. I don't know if you've seen it. 27 attorney generals or secretaries of states from 27 different states in the United States has taken Arizona's Republican state House and Senate, their state bill to make it illegal for aliens to vote. Now, Hobbs, the governor of Arizona, refused. She vetoed it. Okay, so that's what happens. But 27 Secret Secretary of States and Attorney Generals want to take that on as their own, as their laws. And that's fantastic, folks, because Arizona's lost. All right. I'm telling you, they are lost. They are gone. If they are not allowed to get rid of, there are illegals. I mean, there are registered illegals all over the place. Go out and look at the stories. You might have to, if you Google it, you're going to have to go like to the third or fourth page of Google, but go out and look at it. Look at the mess that they are in right now. They are a lost cause. Okay. And unfortunately, Carrie Lake, she's not winning because it is such a mess there. Illegals are going to vote. And I'm just waiting I'm honestly waiting for more people to vote in Arizona than live there. That's what I'm waiting for, because that's where we're leaning to. We have counties in Arizona that have more registered voters than people that live there. I mean, 2 counties. We did a story on it. Go out and look it up. It's there. Arizona is a mess. And we have to fight it. But these 27 states, now, again, the 27 states are not Michigan. They're not Wisconsin. They're not Pennsylvania. Okay, the key battleground states, they're not them. So we have to trust that the Gregs and the Leahs of the world, Greg Stentrums and Leah Hoops, are fighting to get Pennsylvania to make it to where you have to be a legal citizen to vote, getting rid of these drop boxes, getting rid of these data centers, and just count where everybody's watching, Republicans and Democrats alike. You have representatives, you have people there. That's what you need to do. That's what I'm hoping happens. Anyway, that's where I think we need to go with it. But folks in Alabama, just watch this. It's 2 minutes and 23 seconds, but please watch.
3,000 registered voters in Alabama just got booted from the state voter rolls. That's after the Secretary of State, Wes Allen, ordered the removal of all non-citizens who were registered. But how did non-citizens get registered in the first place? WAFF 48's Nick Ballinger spoke to the Secretary of State to get to the bottom of this story. Nick?
Yeah, Margo, when I asked Secretary Allen how these people got registered to vote in the first place, he couldn't give me a clear answer just yet, saying it was still being investigated. But when he gave me a breakdown of how many there were in each county, the numbers were glaring. This is a list from Secretary of State Wes Allen of how many non-citizens were registered to vote in our counties. The state found 3,251 people. 742 of them were from North Alabama.
We got the information. We cross-checked it against our centralized data file here in the state of Alabama and found those 3,200 individuals.
The information he's talking about are people with alien registration numbers. Those are issued to immigrants who intend to live in this country permanently and have already applied for a green card. However, you're not eligible to vote with just an alien identification number. When I asked Allen how 3,000 plus were able to register in the first place, he couldn't give me the answer.
But it's our belief that only American citizens should be allowed to vote. Non-citizens, whether they're legal or illegal immigrants, cannot register to vote. It's a federal offense.
To vote here in Alabama, you need one of these things: a driver's license, a passport, a voter photo ID, or any other type of photo ID. But Mike Nicholson with the voters' right group Alabama Arise is now questioning the state system as a whole.
It just leaves me with questions. How could that many people supposedly have registered to vote when you need a photo ID or a social security number? There's all these barriers that are in place that we know wouldn't allow that to happen. So I would definitely urge the Secretary of State to be more transparent with that, because we know that in other states, similar actions have purged real voters from the polls.
Allen did acknowledge that some people on the list may have already become naturalized citizens and are now eligible to vote. Those individuals will regain their registration and right to vote. Now, Secretary Allen says he's now handing this list of people over to Attorney General Steve Marshall to pursue prosecution. Margo?
All right, thank you, Nick.
Secretaries of States around the country, do your duty as Americans. Clean those voter rolls, purge them, purge non-citizens, purge deceased people, purge them. You have to. That if you guys on the left feel that your policies are so good that the American people need to listen to you and follow your policies, let's have a fair election. Go out there, clean these voter rolls up. Don't let illegals vote. Let the American people, let the American citizens who have lived here under your ridiculous way of life for 3 years, and the only ones with this administration that have done well are billionaires and illegals. That's it. No one else in this country. We're all suffering except for billionaires because, folks, I'm going to tell you, they can sit there and tell you all they want to. Oh, they got to pay their fair share. They got to do this. They always do well no matter who's in charge. They don't become billionaires because they're stupid. All right? Not all of them are good. I get it. Okay? Not all of them does things the right way. I get it. But they're billionaires. They control the money. They control the purse strings, especially with some of the Democrat candidates. You kidding me? Are you going to go up to Zuckerberg and say, hey, you're going to pay 70% taxes? He's going to laugh at you and not give you money for your donation. All right. So we have to get these Secretary of States. I challenge you to pass this on to all your Secretary of States and all these different states, because Alabama, you saw it. They have the photo ID requirement. You have to have a photo ID, but they still had over 3,000 non-illegals or illegals voting, non-legals voting. It can happen in Alabama. It can happen anywhere. And it doesn't take much. We've seen it. We've seen it. Remember, the counting stopped. Trump was ahead. Counting resumed. Trump lost the election. And now we're seeing all this evidence come out. Now is proof that there was cheating in that election. Proof out there. Evidence. They don't care. They honestly don't care. They're going to still do this. They're going to do it because they know their policies are never going to be voted in. They have to force it in. And the only way to do it are to get the people that have come here illegally to vote. It's the way it is. That's what they're doing. And unfortunately for the rest of us, we have to fight this. We have to do whatever we can to make sure we vote. Okay, so that the 10 million gun owners, registered gun owners in this country that are not registered to vote, vote. Even if you vote Democrat, which I don't know why you would, because they're going to take your dang guns away. But you need to vote. We have to, guys. The only way to do it is make it too big to rig. That's it. Make it too big to rig. That's what we have to do. And it's not because Trump's so hated. That's not it. That's not it at all. We just have to do this. We have to keep these evil people out, because these are the same thing's going to happen in the next 4 years if Kamala Harris wins. Don't let her fool you. They're not going to change the economy. They may do some things to move it on a little bit, but President Trump, drill baby drill. That one thing, when his first drill hits the ground, when President Trump is president again, look at what it's going to do. All right. Yes, I'm understanding, folks out there, that it takes a long time to get that oil out, get it processed, get it out there into the. But as soon as that drill hits there, all the other countries are going to say, "Oh shit, here we go again." Because when we are energy independent, we don't need any other country. Matter of fact, they probably don't want to buy our oil. Okay. That one comment right there, drill, baby, drill, takes care of a lot of stuff. It really does. It makes prices go down because energy costs go down. We get transportation, distribution goes down because gas is not as expensive. Okay. That's all there, folks. That's all we got. Okay. That's a difference between the two. One wants to keep America strong. And even he is fighting for even the people that hate him. He is fighting for them. Kamala Harris and Walz are not fighting for us, MAGA people. They're not. They don't give a crap about us. They could care less. All right. They don't want us. They just want us to just, go away, let them do their thing. And we're not going to allow them. We can't do it. We've got to keep this thing going. Folks, is anybody familiar with Act Blue? Well, a watchdog group claims thousands of discrepancies in Act Blue records. Who is Act Blue? They're a money-raising arm of the Democrat Party. It claims it has more than 60. Okay, a Republican group investigated them. So I know you're going to, a Republican group investigate them. How honest can this be? Everything else. Well, listen to this. An organization that raises money for Democrats, which is Act Blue, claims that it has more than 60,000 potential discrepancies in donations made to the Biden-Harris presidential campaign. 60,000 discrepancies. The watchdog group, the Fair Election Fund, says it contacted 60,000 people in late July and early August who had been named in a Federal Election Commission report as small donors to the Biden-Harris presidential campaign. But those people didn't recall making donations. Washington Examiner reports. Okay, so what's going on here? All right. are we getting these? Again, we all believe that Ukraine, the money given to Ukraine, is basically a laundering scheme for money to come back to the Democrats, right? We believe that. And I think it's pretty safe to say that that's what's going on. That they get the money back. We all know what laundering is, right? They're going to give it, and then the money's going to be cleaned, come back. Democrats get it for their campaigns, get it for their payoffs, whatever it is. And then some Republicans too. I don't want to blame all, but mostly it's Democrats right now. But if you've got 60,000 discrepancies, and they contacted them, but they don't remember donating any money, what's happening? What's happening, folks? I mean, I'm telling you, there is some evil work here. There is some evil work out there. And I still believe that 80% of this country is middle right. I know those numbers may be high. I get it. But I still believe we are middle right as a whole. And I think we need to it's time we need to fight instead of letting that 10% to 20% of the liberal idiots out there, communists, socialists, let's just let them talk because they can, but let's take their power away from them. Let's put the power back into the hands of the people. How's that? Wow. How's that for democracy, right? Constitutional republic, to be honest with you, but they have no idea what that is. But that's their favorite phrase. He's a threat to democracy. Yet everything they put out there, every bill, every policy, everything they've ever done has done to destroy democracy. Competition, folks. That's what does it. That's what streams it. You got to have people compete. So if you do have a company that wants to charge $4 for a loaf of bread, and every other store is selling it for $1.25 or $2.25, whatever, that person can do that if they want. They're not going to sell anything, but the government comes in. You don't want them to control prices, folks. I'm telling you right now, they are going to choose winners and losers. Winners and losers are chosen by us. We go buy their products. If we don't like what they have to say, if we don't like what they have to sell, we react. That's what we do. It's competition. That's what causes salaries to go up. Not this, we're going to go to an automatic $20 minimum wage. It's working really well in California, isn't it? The fast food market is dying in California, and it's going to continue to die. You can't force wages up. Wages come up like President Trump did it. Lowered corporate tax cuts, gave the corporations tax cuts. They invested in business. They invested in people. They invested in new equipment, new buildings. And man, does that trickle down. Yes, trickle down economics, folks. I'm sorry. Show me something that works better. You can't go from the ground up like the Democrats want. You can't build it from the bottom up. You can't. Okay. You can't even build it from the middle class because most of us don't own the businesses. We don't run the businesses. We work for those who own and run the business. You can't do that. You have to give these companies more money to be able to invest, to hire us, to increase our salaries, because now we've got a large percentage of people who don't want to work. Okay, it's the Democrat voters, the ones who live on welfare, especially the ones that have been on welfare for decades. I mean, we're decades of families being on welfare. Get them off, get them working like we should in the United States to help support us and stop having the few have to support the many, right? We don't want that. Well, let's teach them how to fish instead of giving them the fish. We all know that adage, right? Let's teach them. That's what we need to do. Okay, well, again, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for listening. Dale will be back a week from today. I will have another show on Wednesday. I will talk about an upcoming friends of ours. They produce movies. And it's Mark and Amber Archer from Fearless Features Films. We're going to interview them in a couple weeks, a week from Wednesday. We'll talk a little bit about it, what they're doing, how they're going. They're great people, God-loving, God-fearing people. And they're doing a show on Title IX is their movie. They did a movie on dysphoria. And we went to that. I went to see that video. Took some family members with me, watched their opening. Fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, go out and look. Dysphoria. It's worth it. It's worth the watch. Folks, we'll talk a little bit more about that on Wednesday. Obviously, we'll review the DNC because, folks, have you seen the protesters? Don't watch CNN, MSNBC. You won't see them. But holy cow, this is going to be interesting. I mean, this is going to be interesting. Their own people, the people who are voting for them, who support them, are protesting them. It's insane. It's incredible. They probably should have canceled it like some of the other Democrats were hoping and just do it virtual. But they have to have these stars there, folks. They have to have the John Legends. They have to have Megan Thee Stallion. I think that's her name. I have no idea. They have to have people like that there to get people to watch, to get people to show up, because their stances, their policies have no bearing. Our country is in decline because of them. They have to make it a party. They have to make it a celebration. Celebrating what? I don't know. But so before we log off, let's hear one more time from our sponsor, the great Grit Gear Apparel.
Grit is defined as firmness of character, unyielding courage in the face of hardship or danger. At Grit Gear Apparel, we honor all military, police, fire, public service, and patriotic Americans, both men and women regardless of color, creed, or religion. Our brand represents the love and freedom for our country, the heroism of all our men and women, and the principles of what this wonderful country was built on. Our goal is to regenerate the sense of patriotism and to spark the American pride within us, to stand together in the toughest times and become victorious, to preserve all our freedoms, to honor our flag, and to respect the men and women who have fought and died for us to have these freedoms. Wear our brand with pride, with a sense of patriotism, and as a statement for the love of our country. Whether you're military, public official, or civilian, our brand is for you. Together we stand as Americans.
Great gear, folks. Great Gear Apparel. Great t-shirts, very patriotic t-shirts. They do have some Trump shirts out there. But what they won't have, and you got to respect them for this, what you won't have is anti-Kamala Harris or Biden or Walz. They will not insult them because they have people that buy their shirts that they want. And you got to respect that. You really do, because it's not a matter of cutting the person down. Okay. It's not a matter of that. Let their talk, let their policies do it. And, but anyway, Grit Gear, their coffee's great. Please go out to lockandloadcoffee.com. Right here, Buckeye McGrowan, as usual, she's on it. But lockandloadcoffee.com, and then of course gritgearapparel.com. Put code two guys, and you'll get 10% off your first order. And also still keep putting two guys in there to show that you got it from the show, so we can see how we're doing with them to get them. But again, their shirts are great, folks. You got to wear them. Their hats are wonderful. Dale, you saw the one he has 76 on it, so it's all great. So please go out and visit their websites. Wonderful people, wonderful organization. Let's keep supporting them. Okay, folks. Well, that's it for me today. Enjoy the Democrat National Convention if you can stomach it. I'm going to try to watch a little bit of it, but I just don't know if I can stomach it. I might just have to get from Newsmax or Fox News. Oh my God, those evil networks. I know, I get it. But try to get stuff from there. And, cause I'm not going to watch CNN, MSNBC, because it's going to be like, hallelujah, here, great stuff going on, and we know better. So folks, again, tune in Wednesday. We'll have some more, we'll review a little bit about what's going on at National Convention. And I want to talk, I might have something from I saw a video, and I think I might play it next Wednesday if I can find it again, but it's the creator of the Weather Channel, the person who created the Weather Channel, went on CNN for an interview. And climate change is a hoax. And he gives examples of why he says so. When you say 97% of scientists believe that climate change is there, and his answer was perfect. When the government gives $3 billion to clean energy, to climate control, to climate change, whatever you want to call it, what are you going to say? You know, I mean, you want that money, right? You're not gonna badmouth it. You're gonna do what you can say, and we'll talk a little bit more about that on there if I can find that video to show, because I think it's important to hear, because there are scientists out there that don't believe climate change is there. And again, right now, that is what's really hurting us, right? Because that's the push. That's what's costing us money, jobs, everything here in this country, because we refuse to drill. Now Kamala wants to, well, it depends what she says tomorrow, but she wants to ban fracking. Well, today she does. Maybe tomorrow she won't. I don't know. But, she did before. So anyway, and let's not forget, folks, the tax on tips. Let's not forget, she was the person who proudly signed that bill to hire the IRS agents that specifically were aimed to go after tips, to go to Venmo, to go all of these pay accounts, direct pay accounts for $600 or more transactions. She signed the bill. Now all of a sudden she wants to no tax on tips. Can you believe her? Honestly, I don't. Folks, thank you. Tune in. Have a great day. God bless America. Dale's daughter, happy birthday again. Celebrate, enjoy, be careful. Dale, can't wait to have you back. Talk to you guys soon. God bless America.